Hello, lovers. Welcome to the Butterfly Effect podcast, hosted by myself, Lauren Amy. This is for those who are ready to take up space, who are living a soft life loudly, and are ready to savor the sweetness in each moment. Here we're going to embrace transformation, the beauty of the in-between, and the magic of becoming. So pull up a seat and listen in, because life is delicious and it's about goddamn time we eat it up. Hello, is it me you're looking for? I might have to cut that. I don't know if I can keep me singing in on a podcast, but we shall see. Okay, hello, gorgeous ones. Happy Wellness Wednesday. Okay, full disclaimer before I get into this episode, I am recording this in advance because I'm being a prepared little princess over here because it's retreat week. And I know I've got a busy week coming up, so I just wanted to make sure that I've still got an episode coming out in case things ramp up a little bit in the approach to the retreat. So you will be listening to this once the retreat has happened, which is very incredibly exciting. And hopefully I'll have like a post-retreat debrief episode maybe. Just really depends. These episodes really depend on where I'm at, what's gone on. Sometimes I feel like one episode a week is not enough because I do feel like I often have so much to share, so much to say, but there's other ways in which for me to get these little stories out there, right? That's why the Patreon, that's why the love notes on Patreon exists. That's why my TikTok and Instagram exist as well. So I can share lots of lovely musings. Because I am loving, especially the writing. I'm loving writing these little love notes on Patreon. I've just released, well, as this goes out, it won't be just, but I have released one called What is Your Butterfly Effect? And I feel like that's going to be another episode I'll talk about very soon as well, because this is another trend that's going around on social media at the moment where people are sharing their butterfly effects. And it's had an effect on me in some way. And I haven't spoke about it just yet. And you would have thought, this podcast is called The Butterfly Effect. So of course that would be a trend I would jump on, but it's had a little effect on me. But that will come very soon. Who knows? Maybe I'll even record a third podcast episode. Shall I do like a bonus app? That could be fun. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Okay, we'll see. Anyway, loves, full disclaimer, I'm recording this in advance, so if you are seeing the social media content and it looks like I've not changed for 2 weeks, I promise you I have. I just CBA to change my outfit for the sake of continuity. It's so fine. Also, can we just appreciate the pink hair? The pink hair is popping. We tried a new dye and it is vibrant AF. I'm not gonna lie, it might even be glow in the dark. I've not looked because when I'm in the dark I'm asleep, so who knows, I might be sleeping like a beacon. Okay, but what I did want to talk about a little bit more today was my experience at the Marketing Leaders Program, as I mentioned a little bit last week and as I've spoken a little bit about on social media, because this was an amazing opportunity that came my way back in November last year. And it's one of those experiences, one of these opportunities that the gravity of it, the potential of it has actually only landed now after I've done the first few days of it. And I suppose what I want this episode to be, as I talk about this opportunity, is I want to encourage you to advocate for yourself and really stand up for what you offer and your own magic, because I had to do exactly that. So casting our minds back to November, where a lovely client of mine had recommended me to be a part of this program, which is essentially a business retreat, really celebrating authentic and empowering leadership. And they got in touch with me to bring me on to lead some yoga sessions in the morning of 2 days in April, 2 days in July, and then the event, the program itself, culminates in 1 day in London, which I don't believe I'm a part of yet, but who knows? Maybe if I do a great enough job, they might invite me there. Who knows? I received this email and I'm like, okay, wow, okay, this is incredible. And I did a little bit of research. It was hard for me to figure out who I'm actually talking to. And, it just says marketing leaders program. I don't know what that is. I don't work in marketing. I don't work in the corporate world. So to me, it's a whole other language. So I did a little research, but then I spoke to this lovely guy. He was talking to me about the event. I was just like, okay, wow, this sounds really interesting. It sounds like businesses are finally catching on to the idea of like corporate well-being and the emotional well-being and what it takes to be a leader, and how can we lead from this place of grounded rootedness. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm making it up now. But yeah, how can we lead from this place of authenticity, from grounded authenticity? And in this phone call, I kind of talked a little bit more about what I do, and it was fresh off the back of my yoga for the nervous system training. So that was at the forefront of my mind. So I basically spoke a lot about that. And what I noticed in this phone call as I'm speaking, as I'm talking about my offerings, I'm really advocating for myself here. I'm really showing up for what I offer and sharing or showing how much I believe in what I offer. And it just came so naturally. And I finished that phone call. He was very impressed with what I had to say. And I feel like I really nailed that phone call. Because I work for myself, I don't often have to have like these little interviews. This doesn't happen often where people approach me and then I have to almost pitch why I'm the perfect person for the job. So this was one of those rare moments where it occurred. And I finished that phone call and I was just like, wow, I feel like I slayed that. I feel like I was able to clearly celebrate what it is that I do and say why I think I would be the perfect person for them to invite in. They'd emailed me back very, very quickly and they were very pleased. They were very excited and they offered it me pretty much straight away. So I was like, amazing. But of course, the gig isn't until April. So this was confirmed in November. The gig's not until April. So a lot of time had passed. And in many ways, it kind of rolled to the back of my mind, right? But then obviously it comes up to the week of the event and we'd had a few conversations. We touched base a couple of times. I had a Teams call with them. And I always find it really funny on Teams calls because, again, there's a corporate way of showing up on a Teams call, right? The blurred background, whereas there's me just in my living room with a cup of tea, my plants all around me, my pink hair popping. It's not giving corporate, it's giving pixie. But I love that. And again, I was like, let's not try to step into a corporate role. The reason you have got this is because you showed up as yourself. So continue to show up as yourself. They'd sent me the schedule of the program. So I was able to look at the speakers they have later on in the day, because I'm obviously at the beginning of the day, and it kind of sets the tone for the rest of it. And they were quite keen for the yoga, for everything to kind of seamlessly connect. So my job was essentially to take keywords from what I saw on the schedule and think, okay, how can I factor that into a nourishing yoga practice to start their day? And in the first day, it was all about connection, connecting to self, therefore connecting to others more authentically. So I honed in on that. I honed in on connection being the key word. Then the day after, the key word was engaging. How can we engage with others? How can we inspire others? So those were the two words that I zoned in for day 2. All I did to kind of prepare myself for these 2 sessions was journal on those 2 words. Connection. Okay, what can we connect to in this moment? Is it connecting to the moment? Is it connecting to the seat beneath you? Is it connecting to the earth beneath you? Is it connecting to your breath? Is it connecting to how you're feeling in this moment? And I just would riff on that. And then day 2 came around. I was like, okay, engage, inspire. Okay, how can we inspire others? And I basically honed in on the fact that you can inspire others. When you show up for yourself, you show up for others too. There's that ripple effect. It's a natural occurrence. And I did it through breath. By allowing your breath to be heard, it inspires others to let their breath be heard too. When you let your voice be heard, you inspire others' voices to take up space too. And that's the kind of the direction that I took it in. Amongst that was obviously nervous system check-in. We did a beautiful nervous system check-in on day one to notice their breath, their heart rate, their digestion, their sleep pattern, and their overall body temperature. And that is a beautiful way to really, really notice your current experience, because your nervous system cannot lie. You can lie. We've all had moments where someone has come up to you and said, "Oh, how are you doing? Lovely to see you." And you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm good. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you." But that's just kind of like surface level answer, right? You could say whatever in response to that question. But when you look at how you're feeling, when you look at your current experience through the lens of your nervous system, sometimes that can tell an entirely different story. And I really hope that landed with them in that moment. Because what happened when I first did that nervous system training, I started seeing the people around me in very different ways. I didn't see just the person. I saw the nervous system out in front of me. I saw the nervous system. I'm like, okay, are they in fight? Are they in freeze? Are they in flight? Or are they in fawn? Where is their nervous at? Are they in ventral vagal zone, which is kind of like your home base? Or are they in dorsal zone, where they're feeling sluggish, they're feeling tired, they're feeling burnt out? That's what I'm able to see in people now. And it changes the way you communicate and relate to others. And I think when you have that understanding, you have more empathy for the people around you, and you're just able to serve and lead better. And I'm so grateful that I was able to share that with these particular people in the room, delegates from these various businesses, BBC, ITV, Specsavers, Marks and Spencers, RADA, and there's me, my little pixie princess with my pink hair. And I could have really freaked out. When I found out who was going to be in that room, I could have really freaked out and gone, holy hell, oh, I don't think I am worthy of being in this space. However, what I preach day in, day out is that you are worthy of space no matter what room you find yourself in. So I went into this room knowing goddamn well I'm worthy of being there. And what really amazed me when I look back at it now was just how natural that all felt, how naturally I showed up and advocated for myself, for my work in those moments when I could have absolutely been freaking out. And don't get me wrong, there was a few moments after day one, I got back into my car and I was just like, whoa, okay, we need to do a little nervous system check-in right now, because that was something. But my intention for sharing this story is again to remind you that you are worthy of space, and what you offer is magic. I want you to develop confidence in your abilities and confidence in what you share, because no one else is going to do what you do like you do. My experience, for example, there are so many yoga teachers in the world. There's so many yoga teachers in Bedford alone. But yes, there is 100% space for us all, and we all teach in very different ways. I know that no one is going to teach yoga, no one is going to teach breathwork, no one's going to teach nervous system regulation in the way that I do it. And I believe the way I do it is unmatched. And I know that perhaps sounds hella arrogant. I know that probably sounds like she's full of herself, but I take that, if someone says like, oh, she's so full of it, or she's so full of herself, I take that as a goddamn compliment, because I'm like, yeah, of course I'm full of myself. What else do you expect me to be full of? Do you want me to be full of someone else, something else? No, I have not worked this hard. I have not invested this hard in my offerings, in my trainings, in my own self-development to not then be full of it. And more often than not, we are very quiet about it, right? We are quiet about the work we have done. We are quiet about the opportunities that come our way. And I think for the past few weeks, I've decided to not be quiet about it anymore. One thing my coach said to me in one of our final few sessions, that she was like, start bullshitting like a white man. Start bullshitting like a white man would, because we see it all the time, right? I have this guy friend, and he won't mind me sharing this, but I have this guy friend who has always been in my corner. He's always been supporting me, and it's lovely. It's really, really nice of him, to be honest. He's always been in my corner, and he's always wanted to help me. He works in marketing and he works in business support. For a long time now, for literally about a year, he's been saying like, oh, we could do this, we could do that, blah, blah, blah. But I've always been kind of like, I'm not too sure. But that's mostly a me thing because I am on the hyper independent side and I find asking for help very challenging. I'm at this point where I'm trying to scale, and when you're scaling business, it is that time where you're having to take risks and potentially invest and delegate help outside of yourself. He is a perfect example of celebrating your work, your achievements hard, you know? So one day I messaged him, I was just like, you know what? Okay, pitch to me how you think you are going to help me. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt like a little sassy queen saying that. Because you say all of this, but to me right now, this is just words. This is just another marketing ploy, right? He's clearly done it well. Because it's now got to a point where I'm like, okay, pitch to me a plan, pitch to me a 3-month overview, 6-month overview, or how you think you can help me. I'm not sure how that's going to go. He's away on holiday right now. I don't know how that's going to unfold. But again, I feel like that is a perfect example of how white men just have this natural confidence, this natural ability to celebrate and promote themselves. So I need you to take that and remind yourself you have the same ability to do the exact same thing. You don't have to be a white man to celebrate yourself. You don't have to be a white man to advocate for yourself. In fact, don't try to be a white man. Just continue to be yourself. But just take that energy, stand up for what you offer, what you do, because again, no one does it like you do. I think what this latest opportunity has done for me is just really driven it home that actually you are capable, and actually you are worthy of being in this room. Your voice is worthy of being heard and communicating to these people that otherwise you would have never met. You would very unlikely be in the same room again. So knowing that, am I going to then go into this space and be all quiet? Am I then going to go into this space and be like, oh, hi, I'm Lauren. We're gonna do some breath work. Hell no. I'm going to walk into the space and I'm just going to exude my natural self. And I did exactly that. And it felt powerful AF. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. When we think of authenticity, a good example would be like when you're starting a business, yoga teaching, for example, when you're wanting to be a yoga teacher, you look at other yoga teachers, right? You look at what they're doing, you look at their content, you're like, okay, how can I take that and make my own content out of it? I've literally seen people copy content basically and try to make it their own. It never works. It never works because it's not natural whatsoever. And there have been moments in the past where I have perhaps been inspired by someone. I'm like, okay, I want to do something similar. How can I make it my own? And I'll try, but it feels like such hard work. Being yourself is the easiest thing in the world. Being your authentic self is so easy. And I realized that when I showed up in this space, in this opportunity, and even way back in that phone call, way back in November, that it just felt so easy. I didn't even have to try very hard. And that's not to say that I didn't care. I cared a hell of a lot. I think the fact that I'm sharing this now, again, just shows that I care because I'm wanting you to unlock this as well. But when you show up 100% authentically as yourself, as your beautiful, wonderful, magical self, it feels so easy. And again, part of myself is wanting to kind of dilute this because I just don't want it to come across as this arrogance. It's not at all. It's really not that. I'm using my experience as a way in which for you to unlock this untapped potential that you have. In one of my very first episodes, when I took this podcast on my own, I talked about your tenacity, right? Again, it's connecting to that. It's connecting to this tenacious, young, free spirit within, and then match it with the experience that you have now, the wisdom, the experience that you have gained, mix that all together, and then just let it fly, let it take you. And it's going to open doors for you that you didn't even know were possible. And it's going to take you into opportunities that you have perhaps only dreamed about. This experience, this opportunity that I have had recently, I only realize now it's a vision board moment. And actually, my vision board is across the room right now. And I know it's got on there, you know, corporate events and corporate well-being. And I've done it. I'm doing it. I didn't even realize. And it's not just this experience, this latest opportunity that I've done it. There's been many others this year already. I think once you also really believe in what you're offering and believe in that potential, don't be afraid to then call these opportunities towards you. Don't feel as you have to wait for them to come to you naturally. And I said this to a friend recently, and I'm going to try and keep it anonymous, but they were basically saying how, like, oh, I'd love to do things like this. And I was like, do you realize in so many ways you're already doing it? Have you clocked that? Because once you clock that, you're then able to call more of it in. So, for instance, when I shared that reel of this experience at Chewinbury Farm with the Marketing Leaders Program, I'm like, hell yeah, BBC, call me up. ITV, call me up. My email's there. I'm your gal. I'm your gal. Let me show you. Even the fact that I made that slight joke about House of Commons, I mean, that would probably be my biggest challenge yet, but that is a challenge I'm willing to accept. I love a challenge. There's been a few times now where I have been invited to teach in a space where the audience perhaps have been a little bit less receptive. I remember once I taught for the mayor of Bedford and some of the top people in the local government, and that's actually probably been my most challenging audience yet, because you can tell, you're looking at the room, that they are just hella resistant. They've got a full day of meetings ahead of them. They're being asked to like stop and breathe and notice how they feel. They're just not interested in it, but they're the ones that need it most. There were moments where I could sense like, okay, we're reeling them in. If I had a little bit more time, if I had 10 more minutes or perhaps an extra half an hour, I know for a fact that would change how they then went into those meetings later on that day. So yes, what I need you to do, honeys, what I need you to take from this episode is to start believing in yourself. And if you feel like you believe in yourself even harder, because I don't feel like you're doing it hard enough yet. Believe in yourself till the cows come home. Shout about what you do, celebrate yourself, and don't be afraid. Like, if you have this amazing opportunity, or if you've been through amazing opportunity, if you've done something hella exciting, or even if you don't think it's exciting to another person, but it's exciting for you, share it, because it's worthy of being shared. I could have so easily done that opportunity and not mention a thing about it, because past me actually would have done. There's been many opportunities where I've not breathed a word of it. And I think we fear, again, we don't want to come across as arrogant. We don't want to shout about ourselves too loudly, but I want to chuck that in the fuck it bucket, because you are worthy of being celebrated. You are worthy of being shouted about. What you offer is magical. You have an untapped potential, and we're going to start to turn that tap now. Sometimes it only takes a little turn of that tap for it all to come flooding out. So let this be the catalyst for that. And I'm so excited to see where this takes you. I'm so excited to see you fly. So go for it, honeys. Reach for the fucking stars. Reach for the fucking moon. It is yours for the taking. All right, I'm going to wrap this up there. Have a beautiful rest of your week. I will see you next Wellness Wednesday with another episode. And I love you. Go thrive. Life is delicious. Eat it up. Mwah.